Welcome to the Game Hall. I'm Rob. Join me today as I unbox Super Boss Monster by Brotherwise Games. And stay tuned at the end of the video to find out this month's board game giveaway. Another day, another game to add to the haul. As you can see, I already own this was one of those boxes that you can, I think it's considered the collector's box. So I'm showing you a little bit. We have pretty much, I think, every boss monster and expansion pack that came out, minus maybe a few promos. So this box was pretty useful in storing all of those. And if you're not familiar, this is it's basically a card drafting game, much in the style of the old video games, but twist it being that you can actually play as the bosses, as the creatures. You're a dungeon designer and you're trying to lure in local heroes and defeat them. I'll move this aside just a second so you can also see this game goes really well with a mat. So it lays out exactly what you're gonna do when you play with multiple people, different spaces for their different dungeons, as well as playing out your heroes and all to call into the dungeon over time. But this is a handy tool too, but I'm pretty excited to crack into the Kickstarter that I just literally received today. So unlike most times where I let things sit for a while, I'm excited to get into this and figured you would want to join me as well. So this was one of those ones where we got it pretty quick. Like, it wasn't like I backed it 2 years ago or something and it took forever. I feel like it was just yesterday I backed it. I mean, it probably has been a year, maybe, just because how time flies, but it did not feel that long. So here we go. Nice packing. Oh boy. So I think these are, we'll go through them, but I think these are the individual player mats. You gotta love the design of that box. I mean, come on, if you love Super Nintendo games, just the design of that. And then this, I did back the big box. All right, let's get this out of here. So why don't we start with, let's start with the actual game. So again, this is pretty cool. I mean, come on. Pretty good. All right, so looking at the back of this box, we can, as usual, see 1 to 4 players, ages 13 and up. And this is a pretty quick game, like 30 minutes. And I mean, honestly, once you have it down, you might even be able to play it a little faster than that, because I've played multiple rounds or playthroughs of this game in just one sitting, and it's a lot of fun. I haven't played it in a while, so I have to admit, with all the games that we play, I have to refresh myself when we do, but this is the perfect opportunity to get this to the table again, and I think that's what's great about some of these campaigns is they do. Obviously, there's new content, there's new cards, but it pumps fresh life into a game and gets you back into reintroducing it with people. So this says, play the next evolution of the board game that's captured the hearts of board gamers for over a decade in dungeon building card game. You'll draft rooms, spells, slay heroes, and sabotage opponents in the pursuit of being the best boss monster in the land. So it does have an all new solo mode. I know games are really big into promoting solo play. And let's see, there's new counters. All right. The rule book. From what I remember, this game was really easy to teach, and it looks like with these play mats and all, it's going to be just as easy to familiarize people. And card drafting games are always a lot of fun. Building your engine and seeing how it goes. Cool. So that's your book. And then let's see. Accessories list. So this is probably giving us some spoilers on the big box. You'll need to check out the big box. Guess what? We already did. Okay. Now this looks like maybe a promo. Oh, look at that. So we gave away a copy of this 2 months ago, and it looks like get to add a promo to our copy here. Isn't it fun watching people fumble with plastic because they're trying desperately not to bend up a corner or anything? So yes, we have Porcus Doom. And then looks like some additional promos. I'll have to see what game that's for. Looks like adulthood. It could be adulthood. I think they might have published that as well, so that's cool. I'm not gonna punch these out just yet completely, just because I want to see the other components, but they do punch out well. They are a little thin, but I don't think for what you're doing, there's not a lot of, we have the ones that are really thick, and those are good for like those really heavy play where you're really moving things around, constantly shuffling them and all. These are pretty much, basic use tokens. And we got the hardboard. So this is for solo mode on one side. And the other side. So like I said, this is a new standalone game, I think, on top of it. So it'll be interesting to see how differently this plays. But I like, obviously the artwork is always fun. It's familiar yet new. Very cool. And ooh, metal coins. Can't be upset by metal coins. Ooh. So on one side we have and nice. Passed the clink test. They got good weight to them too. Whenever I see these coins, there was an old animated cartoon, obviously animated cartoon, but it was with leprechauns, and he took the coin in his hand and he pushed on it to the point where the eagle like screamed itself off of the coin. And I always think of that when I see like a metal coin, or obviously not like American currency, but like things like this. All right, and then we got some upgraded, or these are the player pieces. Nice. Pretty good. A crown for you. All right, and then let's see, we got some cards here. Ooh, holographic Kirex. I feel like I'm doing my magic openings now. Narrator. These are new bosses. Yeah, they're referencing adulthood even in this game, so absolutely the same publisher. Owl Brothers, that's funny, Brotherwise. Cool. Gotta like that card though. And then we got many more cards. So here we got some hero cards, new heroes. Cleric, Initiate, Fighter. And they have their, this for example, Friday the 4th, no, Friday the 6th, Odd Child. Friday makes sure to keep her feet solidly on the ground, and she may be a powerful psychic, but she still gets seasick. Princess Popcorn. Paul Reitman, hero at law. Have you been unfairly harmed by a boss monster? Have you unjustly accused of being a werewolf? Call now. Looks a little bit like Saul Goodman. Very cool. And then we have, these are the rooms. And then we're bosses too, but let's look at some of the rooms. We have Psychic Stall, Summoning Circle, Reanimator, Emporium, Support Class. When a room in your dungeon would gain a +1 heart counter, you may place it on this room instead. The first hero to enter this room each turn takes no damage from this room. Traveling Library, Trap Room. You may discard a room card to draw a special card, or a spell card. Set some new mechanics here I have to figure out. And then these are bosses. So we have the Lost One. Obsessed Collector, that sounds about right. Level up. For the rest of the game, instead of drafting from the market, you may take the top card of either deck. His Ooziness, Cerebellus. That reminds me of Doom. Emperor Dodo. Dododo. Is that a Kirby reference almost? Malice, Roboba, Queen Croak, Pluto, Arcadius, Shadowful. And there's that Porcus Doom, the same as the promo that we got for Overboss Duel. And then we have Epic Heroes, and what are these? Let's see. We have Epic Heroes, spells, and more rooms. Can't have enough rooms in a dungeon builder, right? Oh, these are, yep. Cool, so we'll combine those with the other rooms that we have. And then spells, co-op mode, counterfeit map, bad advice, quest, chill, stun one room in any dungeon. It deals no damage to heroes until the end of the turn. Super, deal 3 damage to a hero in your dungeon, or if you are leveled up, deal 5 instead. Ooh. And then we got our Epic Heroes. Cleric, Champion, Dame Ender, Jerry Buchkin, Danielle Lake, Fritzy Fred, Feline Felon. Nice. All right, so that's pretty cool. It's such a small detail, but it's nice that they say this is the box top right here. I don't know if you can see that. But when you're putting the things away, it's always nice to have the, without having to turn it over and go, oh yeah, okay. But we'll put those aside because we are curious about the big box. Well, I guess before the big box, sorry, we have these, the player mats. Take a look at these. Nice. All right, cool. So same sort of as the other ones in the sense where we have the dungeon, but it is nice that I assume these are, let's see if they're probably matching. No, that's cool. Look at that. So we have different artwork, but same thing. So in the sense of your boss, your wounds, your souls, but different artwork for the background. So these are your dungeons, and there's one for each player since it's 1 to 4 players. Let's see. Are we gonna get lucky enough to have 4 different? Yes, so far. Look at that. Look at that. 4 different individual art styled player boards. And they each have the colors on them. So purple, blue, red, and green, yellow. But that's very cool. Nice. And they are stitched neoprene grip on the back. So those will come in very useful. I'm curious if this even, so this was their mat before, so already, like this was not stitched. I mean, I have no complaints about this mat. It's, you know, glossy, it gripped on the back, but I do like the stitched ones. It's funny, even Wizards of the Coast, when they do their official Magic ones, only some of them are stitched and others are not. Same with the Lorcana mats. They're not always stitched. We'll fit these later in the box the way they're supposed to go. So the big box, the Boss Monster big box, comes exclusively with 24 cards. So this is telling you can store your entire collection in it. These are the games. So I do own the Boss Monster, the Tools of Hero Kind, Next Level, Crash Landing, Implements of Destruction, The Rise of the Mini Bosses, The Vault of Villains. That's right, I do not own the actual anniversary edition, but they did release a set you could just buy online, the promo cards, so I did order those. So I think I might have all of the released content for Boss Monster and now Super Boss Monster. So it's nice when at least companies, when they put this much content out, they give you that. I think there's something for Art Nova coming out soon. But there's a lot of, like, once they have so much, it's nice to have something. I know it's a little cumbersome, so maybe you have, I see people keep like deck boxes or whatever if you're not bringing everything. But if you're hosting a lot of game nights like I do, you just want something to conveniently just store everything. Again, artwork's cool. It's kind of funny because you're like, oh, it's kind of grainy, but that's the style. And if you look at it really well, like, I love the attention to that detail, that it is in that style. Yeah, it's just very cool. All right. Oh boy, there's a combination guide. It comes with a pack of cards meant to help you combine Super Boss Monster and your previous Boss Monster sets. Use the guide below to help you curate each set to maximize your fun. So wow. I'm going to have to go through this to make sure I do this properly, because it literally tells you what to remove and what to add in the set to make it proper, which is something that also has been happening a lot. I don't know if anybody's familiar with like the Dune Imperium games with Bloodlines coming out and playing that with Uprising. That was kind of a beast to try to figure out what to put in and what to take out. So it's nice that they at least have this. It says, if you're playing with everything together, remember to only play with one set of heroes. Remove Guy the Red Robe from the ordinary hero deck and Aleph from the Crash Landing Epic Heroes deck, and add every other card to their respective decks, then go wild. So I'm definitely gonna have to read through that. So then we have our trays. Let's see what we got. So these look like, boy, I'm gonna have to keep everything separate till I go through it, but oh, this is nice. Divider cards. Look at that. And they got a spot where you can write on them. That's cool. It keeps with the artwork theme. They're nice too. And then I assume maybe these are the exclusive 15 cards. More rooms. We'll keep these separate. Items. An epic hero. It's the Admiral one they were talking about. Another hero. Spells. Bear market. And then more rooms and 2 boss cards. So let's see. Ven and Duke Zarkonin. And then some more rooms. Slot machine. Discard the top card of the room deck. For each spell or treasure symbol on it, gain 1 coin. For each Ankh or fighter treasure on it, gain a health counter. Nice. So that's part of that. And then we have some Super Boss Monster 5 and 6 player minion homes. Interesting. So there is an expansion for that, I guess. And then another tray. It looks like, luckily, this tray nicely will fit this. And then lo and behold, I wonder why there's 2 other things. So this also expands the game to 6 players. So that could be a lot of fun. I mean, this is definitely a game I would want to play with more people if it's, you know, scaled well. And it's nice to have that option. Sometimes game nights can be really limiting because of you're like, oh man, we have 4 or 5 players or 6 players, and there's just not a lot of games sometimes that play really well at that player count. So it's cool that we have that. And then there is another mat in here. Oh, cool. So that was, I was on the back of this one, the one advertisement, they had that you could use this, but there's a actual neoprene for it. And then what do we got? All right, so, so this is why I didn't want to punch out those tokens just in case. So it looks like they do give us some wooden token versions of the hearts. So that's cool. Good thickness too. Stuff everywhere. All right, and then, so there must be a different mode though. Maybe it's not 6 players. I have to review it again, because you'd think if it was a true 5 to 6 player game that they would, there would be, you know, 2 additional play mats. And I do not see that. So maybe it's like a different mode that they can play. And then here is our neoprene version of that board that we saw earlier. So this one does not have a grippy back because it is 2-sided, stitched, but one side is again the solo mode and the other side is the standard player mode. Yeah, so it still shows 4 players, so I'm gonna guess, we'll take a look, but I'm gonna guess there's an additional like mode or something to incorporate the other 2 players. And then these are all removable, which is really cool. So maybe if you want to only play with one game, you can do that. And you can put your cards, let's see, a card, yep, they fit right in there. And it looks like there's enough room to maybe fit them sleeved as well. So I don't know if when they did the backing, if there were sleeve options or not. I'd have to look again. Some games, especially when they're heavy card games, they offer a pack of sleeves that you can purchase. I guess I didn't get those, but they look like these things are big enough to accommodate if they're sleeved. They of course accommodate the dividers, so that's cool. And yeah. So let me get all of this packed into the box and I can show you what that looks like. And I'll also look into that additional players to confirm exactly what that feature of this game is. So catch you in a second. All right, welcome back. Well, it took a little bit of time, but I figured a couple things out that I could share with you. One of the first things, it's not a big deal, but I did want to share that I noticed. So when looking at the cards, you can see the expansion based on some of the little symbols on the bottom. For example, that's one of the original ones. And you'll see all of the Super Boss monsters now have this little symbol at the bottom right. But if you look at the back of the cards, might be hard to see on camera, but the new ones are slightly more saturated. So if you're not playing with the sleeves, which I did find out you could get as an add-on. So when you see the inside, you'll see that actually I might get the sleeves anyway, because it seems like it could use a little extra filling room-wise. But yeah, you could definitely tell them apart. I don't know if that affects the game dramatically, but if you're into not knowing anything ahead of time or having an edge in a game like drafting, it could help. Same thing with the original boss cards and the Super Boss. So again, this is a Super Boss. This is actually the Crash Landing. And if you see them, might be able to see it a little better. They're darker. These ones from the Super Boss are darker backings. These ones are a little lighter. So you can see there is a difference, a little noticeable difference. But going into it, everything fit in here very well. Honestly, there is a ton of room still. So if I open this up, we start with, I wound up doing the plan to play with everything. So the only thing you had to remove are the 2 heroes that they reference from Crash Landing. Another thing, that 5 to 6 player thing, that's actually part of the Crash Landing, so that's not part of the Super Boss Monster. I never really played with that many people, so that's why I wasn't really familiar with it. So the one map that I can show in here too, that's associated, that expansion board is associated with Crash Landing, so that's not actually part of the base game. But I kept all the heroes separate anyway. Then I have this accessory list and the rule book. I'll show you the first tray. Fits the nice, if you didn't get if you're using this, you got the neoprene mat most likely, but it holds the original cardboard board as well as all of the game rule books or instruction booklets from the original games. So that fits in there really nice. There's also some space here, I guess, eventually if you want to put something in there. And they snap down nice and snug. The other tray has those pieces I showed you earlier when we were discovering it, as well as the first player marker, and then the health tokens, the additional tokens, and then these, I guess, these are like a space for your minion to go to when you're not putting them on the board. There are 6 of them, so I guess it supports the different colors if you play with the Crash Landing. And then a spot for your old coins. The hearts I don't have because I put them in a cardboard bit since we're going to be using the wood ones. And they did know that originally when they were making these were a lot thicker. I think this thickness works really well. Doesn't feel overbearing or anything. Plenty good feel. So those again also fit in here super snug. And there's room for other things as well. So I showed you I had the original game mat. I put it in here because I can actually make it fit, but that is in here as extra, and then there's this one which I can go through. Then there is all 4 individually wrapped or rolled of the player boards. They fit in here with a lot of room, and including this is what I was saying was the Crash Landing additional board. So that's why it has the additional 5 and 6 players. I just rolled this up and honestly, it fit. It might push out a little bit, but it didn't feel like, it felt like it's enough give. But look at the amount of space that is still in here. So I had all of so if you do where you play with everything, they say play with 1 set of heroes. So I separated all of my heroes and epic heroes out, and I divided them by, again, so here's another one of those sets. I divided them by that set, so when I want to play, I can just grab 1 set from one of the base games or expansions, because I assume that's what they mean. I assume, like, I can't play, and correct me if I'm wrong, maybe they know, or someone else who plays a lot more than I do, like, can you put the base game, when they say 1 set, do they mean 1 set as in the base game of the original Boss Monster with all the expansions, and vice versa, the Super Boss Monster base heroes with the expansions, or is it just 1 set, meaning 1 expansion set of heroes at one time? That being said, everything, like, this is without sleeves, and I think even with sleeves, there's so much room. I do worry a little bit. I tend to store my games on their sides, so hopefully with this being snug in there, these cards aren't going to go all over the place, because these boxes, although convenient and removable, they don't have lids themselves either. So I don't want things, again, this should cover it, but I don't want things, cards going all over the place, getting damaged. I will look into sleeves, but it looks like everything is going to fit great. One of the mechanics, though, looking this up again, because I had to refresh myself, this adds a lot of new things to this game in general, just compared to the original Boss Monster. So there's a drafting system now. Before you would just draw your card for your rooms, and now they're going to be played out, so it adds a little element of seeing what other people are going to pick, you getting to choose some things, as well as the town. Certain hero cards, when they come out, will be placed on area names, and they will be benefits by sending your minions to different spaces. So it adds a little bit more complexity to it, but I think that's pretty cool. I'm excited to try it. I don't know if I'll jump into solo mode. Maybe if I get some time, I can try that as well and see how that plays. I know some people have been asking for solo gameplay on this channel, so if I get some time and have an evening to kill, maybe I'll do a quick playthrough and we can discover this together. But I wanted to share that with you and show you how it fit back in the box. I think it works really well. Again, I just think either they're releasing more stuff in the future that I thought this was pretty much it. So maybe they are putting more expansions out or things to deal with Super Boss Monster. If that's the case, there is plenty of room for those added cards. But thank you for joining me. Please like, comment, subscribe. I have a couple more things on the shelf that I need to open up and I'll love to share with you guys, as well as stay tuned to the end of the video for this month's board game giveaway. This is an exciting one. There might have been a hint somewhere in the frame here. But until next time, tune in and keep gaming and sharing your games with me, and I'll be sure to share it with everybody else as well. Take care. It's that time again, April, the board game giveaway from the Game Hall. What's that old saying? April showers bring killer robots from the future? That's right, this month's giveaway, Final Girl, the feature film killer from tomorrow. And included along with that, the core box in case you do not have it. We want to introduce this game to as many people as possible. And I do want to reiterate, we are not sponsored by Van Ryder. We just love this game. This is a one-player solo game, but do not let that throw you off. This game is actually really fun to play cooperatively with a partner. To enter, subscribe, like, and comment on this video or any video between now and the drawing date, April 27th, I'll be back. We'll see you here on the channel, April 27th. Don't forget to enter and get to the chopper.